So this word that comes to the prophet Isaiah at the very beginning of what we read is one of my favorite images from the prophetic word. It's the where God says to the prophet Isaiah, let me find it. Enlarge the site of your tent. Maybe it's because I'm a scouter, but anyway, enlarge the site of your tent and let the curtains of your inhabitants be stretched out. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. And it's just this wonderful image of kind of having to bring out the sides of a tent because there are just more people to fit underneath it. Strengthen those cords. They're going to have to hold up more canvas. Or lengthen those cords, strengthen those stakes. They're going to have to hold up an even bigger structure. And in a sense, God is telling His people to prepare their hearts to receive more family. And I think that's the word that we need to hear God speaking to us now as His people, the church, in this time. That, in a sense, it's clear, it's obvious. The church, in a sense, has gotten smaller with the pandemic in a whole variety of ways. Financially, with the ability to have people in worship and attendance, etc. And it can be discouraging. But let us together hear this word of the Lord to say, get ready to receive more family. That we have to recognize that, in a sense, that the church isn't something that we are called to populate on our own strength, right? And so as the Lord speaks to the exiles of Israel, as they feel like, they've, in a sense, this is a word they're preparing to go back to Israel, as the Persians have defeated the Babylonians, and they're hoping that they'll be able to go back to the land. And they're kind of looking around saying, there are a whole lot less of us than there used to be. And, certainly not enough to populate a whole land. And, everything's going to be smaller there. It'll never achieve its former glory. And they get a word of the Lord saying, don't worry, I'm going to bring people to you. And in a sense, not only am I going to bring, your people to you, I'm going to bring other people to you. And so we are called to hear that and to prepare ourselves in this season to open our hearts, to lengthen the cords, strengthen the stakes of the tents of our hearts and of our parishes, our churches, to receive the people who need to know that they belong and are in God's family. So let us hear this hopeful word, this word of consolation, to enlarge the tent, stretch out the curtains, because there'll be more people with us in God's own house. A reading from the prophet Isaiah. Sing, O barren one who did not bear. Burst into song and shout, you who have not been in labor. For the children of the desolate woman will be more than the children of her that is married, says the Lord. Enlarge the site of your tent, and let the curtains of your habitations be stretched out. Do not hold back. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. For you will spread out to the right and to the left, and your descendants will possess the nations and will settle the desolate towns. Do not fear, for you will not be ashamed. Do not be discouraged, for you will not suffer disgrace. For you will forget the shame of your youth, and the disgrace of your widowhood you will remember no more. For your Maker is your husband, the Lord of hosts is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer, the God of the whole earth he is called. For the Lord has called you like a wife forsaken and grieved in spirit, like the wife of a man's youth when she is cast off, says your God. For a brief moment I abandoned you, but with great compassion I will gather you. In overflowing wrath, for a moment I hid my face from you, but with everlasting love I will have compassion on you, says the Lord, your Redeemer. This is like the days of Noah to me. Just as I swore that the waters of Noah would never again go over the earth, So I have sworn that I will not be angry with you and will not rebuke you. For the mountains may depart, and the hills be removed, but my steadfast love shall not depart from you, and my covenant of peace shall not be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. O afflicted one, storm-tossed and not comforted, I am about to set your stones in antimony and lay your foundations with sapphires. I will make your pinnacles of rubies, your gates of jewels, and all your wall of precious stones. All your children shall be taught by the Lord, and great shall be the prosperity of your children. In righteousness you shall be established. You shall be far from oppression, for you shall not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near you. If anyone stirs up strife, it is not from me. Whoever stirs up strife with you shall fall because of you. See, it is I who have created the smith, who blows the fire of coals and produces a weapon fit for its purpose. I have also created the ravager to destroy. No weapon that is fashioned against you shall prosper, and you shall confute every tongue that rises against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication from me, says the Lord. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.